Rico Bella Productions and Tree Brothers Studio present These are a people with and around whom you can let your freak flag fly high and sing to the sky. Hello, I am Larry Harry Berry, and along with Angie-lo, Savage Neil, and of course the one and only Orange Pourage, we, a band of outliers, are the Wayward Consortium. Okay, so it's November 5th, 2017. Welcome to this day. And yesterday was Saturday, the 4th of November, and as you all might recall, it was also the day when it begins. What is it? Wait, Orange Pause, let me get to it. I want to know what it is. Let me get to it. I want to know what it is. Okay, I know what you're doing now. Get out of here, Savage. Okay. Oh, we got you, Larry. You didn't get nothing, fool. All right, so anyway, November 4th yesterday is almost like a 100-year anniversary for, I think Lenin and the Bolsheviks taking over, Russia, Mother Russia, with the communism and everything. And so Antifa, is it Antifa? Antifa. I think it's Antifa. Is that right? Because, I know it stands for anti-fascist. But I hear a lot of, I think it's a lot of them calling it Antifa and Antifa. I know I hear that, but what I'm saying is fascist, it's the short A, it's the fascist, it's not the fa. You don't say fascist. You know what I'm saying? You don't say fascist. You say fascist, right? It's fascist.
It is fascist. I'll give you that, Larry. But I think that it's just hip to call it Antifa. That's what you hear a lot of the kids with the nose rings and the giant gauges in their ears and, the crazy tattoos on their wrists and behind their ears and everything. That's how you hear them say it, Antifa. It's like the cool way of saying it. Well, there's really no cool way of saying douchebag, right?
That's right. That's a good one, Savage. That's a good one.
I knew you would appreciate that, Larry. I knew you would appreciate it so much.
Continue. Tell me how much I would appreciate it, Savage.
I knew you would appreciate the hell out of it.
Oh, my God. Damn, Savage. Do that before the show, man. Put your shoes on, please.
I know you finally gave me a pair of shoes, guys. That's very sweet of you. Very, very kind of you.
Okay, get back to it. So yesterday, there was supposed to be a lot of civil war waging, right? A lot of communist planning, revolution for America type stuff, right? Is that correct? Yes, that is right, OP. Okay, so I watched a lot of this stuff on YouTube, right? On the live Antifa protests across the country. I saw some Atlanta stuff. There was like maybe 20, 30 people in little 5 points. And then there were some folks out there in Portland that I watched. And then a vast majority of what I watched today was in New York City. And let me tell you, it was just a very lackluster event. It was some bullshit talking back and forth between the Trump supporters and the America lovers and the Antifa on the streets, and there was a little bit of property damage, but not much violence erupted as far as I could gather from the interweb and the news tonight and last night, actually, because it's really early in the morning on November 5th right now as we record this. It's 1:26 a.m., and thank you very much for tuning in to the Wayward Consortium.
Nice plug. That's a good one.
What are you trying to go there with a little bass in your voice? What's that?
Well, I think sometimes it's like I can be sexy and deep, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you don't sound sexy at all when you do that. Just stick with your regular voice.
Okay, so never mind. Okay, so what happened then? Did they change the world overnight? Larry, what the fuck happened?
Well, nothing. Nothing, exactly right. Nothing really happened. The world is catching on to George Soros and his paid little crony puppets, bitches. They're catching on to you, Mr. Soros. Hey, George, wake up.
The world is finding you out. We're learning your game, son. We are learning your game. I mean, here they are. They're walking around the streets today. They're chanting chants like this. And you know it's all scripted. It's sent to them in emails and letters saying, this is what you say. This is how you say it. This is the rhythm that you say it at. And one of the little chants, one of the cute little chants they had to say out there today was, rise up, throw them out. The Trump regime is fascist. There's no doubt. And so what you'd hear this, it sounded like a little girl up front saying, rise up, throw them out. The Trump regime is fascist. There's no doubt. She'd be saying that out loud or on a microphone, on a megaphone thing. And then all of a sudden, you'd hear about maybe, 10 or 12 people join in and they'd all say it off cadence, because they're a bunch of whiteys.
It's so funny. White people do lack rhythm, do they not?
Well, not all of us. I mean, I can't dance for shit, but there's some white folks out there with rhythm. I mean, it's just how it is. Black folks dance better. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. It's not racist, It's just not racist, It just isn't. What are you looking at me like that for? Stop, everybody. You're just messing with me. Oh, I'm in the box now? You put the box over me. Ladies and gentlemen and beautiful babies out there in radio land and podcast land, more specifically, since this is a podcast and all. We're in the 21st century, after all. We joined the podcast revolution, and finally, right? Anyway, they put me in the box. They're ignoring me right now. And they're making crude faces. Stop. Will you just stop? Let's get back to it.
Okay, box is off. Okay, here we go. They were also chanting stuff like, hey, hey, ho, ho. Trump and Pence have got to go. And they really believe this sort of thing is going to oust the president, who was duly elected, by the way. You know what I'm saying? They think this is going to work. George Soros, you and your puppets ain't going to work no more. They're walking around and they were saying something I couldn't catch. It was inaudible the first half, but the second half went a little something like this. No state. America was never great. And I also noticed walking around amongst the Trump supporters and the America lovers versus the ANTIFA, amongst the ANTIFA, there wasn't one American flag. I know, that's a shame. They claim to speak for the country, and yet they're not proud of the country. In fact, to them, America was never great, ever. There wasn't one time, when you say something like that, that means there's not one thing we ever did that was great. The national park system, the Constitution, none of these things were ever great to them. Capitalism, they hated it. In fact, what's that one you said? Yeah, that one right there. Yeah, I saw that too. They're walking around carrying a sign that says capitalism is fascism. These fucking kids are hopeless. They're so fucking hopeless. It's kind of sad.
It's very sad. They're just walking around like a bunch of goddamn robots, and everybody who's telling them they're robots, they're selling them they're robots, and everybody's a robot. It's just how it is these days. We're all fucking robots. Oh my god.
Angie-lo, stop rubbing your face like that. You look like a man when you drag your cheeks down like that. You look like some sort of bulldog. Keep doing it, actually.
You like that, orange porridge?
Ooh, I love the bags. Look at all that blood in your eyes.
Yeah, you like that, don't you? You would always like something like that, you freak.
Of course I'm a freak. Let's get back to it, shall we?
Okay. So, ANTIFA is a bust on November 4th. This sort of thing, though, it's just the beginning, as they would say. It begins on November 4th. So this is planned to go on for a few days. George Soros and his puppets are going to be out there. George Soros is always out there in spirit. You can just see his little fire-breathing ass hovering above everyone's head like some crazy demon-like emoji, controlling their mind, body, and actions. Their soul is his. It's just how it is, What was another chant? This is another one. This is a riff. The first one that I read, rise up, throw them out. The Trump regime is fascist. There's no doubt. Well, then, and I think that was in New York. In Portland, I heard them say this one. Trump and Pence are fascist. There's no doubt. Rise up, throw them out. They're all reading from the same script, but they got to switch up the patterns every once in a while, because the same chant, the same protest chant gets a little old after a little while. Anyway, I watched a lot of this stuff, and there was just jokesters out there. I go to the grocery store today. I go to the K. Roger, and you couldn't even tell that any of this shit is going down. It's only happening in downtown urban areas, and it's only happening mostly amongst college students. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gives a fuck about what you have to say out there. You ain't in the real world. You living in a fantasy, and everything in reality is going to catch up with you and bite you in y'all's asses. And that is how it is. That was November 4th for me today.
Well, this is what I did today. I saw an ad on the boob tube.
I just love it when you say boob.
You like that? Boob. Boob. Boob.
Stop. Okay, this isn't goddamn Family Guy. Stop repeating the same thing, thinking you're getting funnier as you do it. It's not real. It's not real humor. It's not funny. Although some things about Family Guy I find actually hilarious.
Okay, well, let me get back to it. Watching the old telly, and I saw an ad, and I don't know if I should say the name of the company.
Well, if you don't know for sure, then just stick to not saying it. Just move around it. Walk around it slowly and carefully. I almost called you my name.
Yeah, I'm not Larry. I'm Savage.
I know who you are, Savage. Continue.
Okay, well, I saw this ad, and it was an ad for, like, getting, you could scan your email for free on the dark web and see if it would come up. And if you know, this is for people who are paranoid, I guess, that there are junks out there and people are tapping into it for identity theft purposes and whatnot, and want to see your nudie pics and whatnot. Well, so I decided I would try it out. Right? I decided I would try it out. So I went to the website, and it asked me, you know, for my email address, my name and whatnot, and I put all that in, and then it said that it scanned the dark web for me, looking for my email to see if it would come up.
Yes, I'm very intrigued. Continue.
Well, it said the process of scanning the dark web for my email could take up to 21 hours. Right? And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm going to forget that I even did this 21 hours from now, and I'll see it somewhere in my spam, and I'll delete it. You know?
Oh, I'm sure that's happened many times with you.
It has. It has. I've missed many an important doctor's appointments for that very reason. Anyways, so it came back actually 5 minutes later, and I had 5 minutes, so there we go. I opened it up, and it says, here, click on this link. It's been sent to your email, whatnot, blah, blah, blah. I open it up, and sure enough, it says, your email was not found on the dark web.
Oh, congratulations. That's good. Yes, it's very good for you. Very, very good.
I'm loving it. That's great. You are so important that nobody wants to tap into your identity.
Yeah, that's right. It said that they looked back all the way to 2006, man, and found 0 records exposed at this time on the dark web. And of course, there's, you know, that was the free aspect. They can also scan the dark web for all kinds of things, you know. They can scan it looking for your social security number, phone numbers, driver's license, medical IDs, bank accounts, credit, debit cards, passport, you name it. But of course, you gotta pay, and I think this one was like something like $9.99 a month, something like that. It was pretty interesting.
Well, Savage, is that all you did today?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, everybody, all you beautiful babies out there in podcast land. Now we leave the old states and head on to a time and place only 2 whoops and a holler away from here, where cowboys and rushers vied for the attention of the purtiest painted ladies, when nothing could get atwixt a barrel border and his bug juice before the big jump. The dickens, you say? Well, let me split fair with you, son, 'cause I don't tell whoppers, and there's no fiddle-faddle here. Everybody knows that dog won't hunt. So by hook or by crook, let's bend an elbow and have us a hog-killing time on an Old West Recollection.
Wow, it's been a really long time since I've heard you go off with that little intro monologue.
It felt good. I felt good when I wrote it. You know, that was years ago I wrote it, and it feels good to be saying it again. Thank you for that recognition, Angie.
You're very welcome, Larry. Continue. What happened on this day in the Old West?
Well, on this day in 1879, actually, you know, when I wrote this bit, that's incorrect.
What are you talking about?
Yes, what are you interrupting your great bit for?
Well,
Larry, this is the inaugural bit on the Wayward Consortium for an Old West Recollection. What are you not prepared for?
well, see, I put it in there.
Listen, I'm stuttering as bad as me. I know. What's up with this, Larry? Continue. I'm saying continue to you.
All right, I'll continue. When I wrote this, it was yesterday. You see, ladies and gentlemen, it's 1:37 a.m. on November 5th. But, we stay up late. And, for some people, that's not even late.
You're branching like a tree.
We're trees and we branches. Okay. So this is actually November 4th in the Old West. Is that acceptable?
We'll accept it.
Yeah, go for it. Come on, I just want to hear the bit. What happened yesterday in the Old West?
Well, yesterday, November 4th, in 1879, Will Rogers is born in Oklahoma. You may remember Will Rogers. He was the cowboy philosopher, and he was a comedian. He was a humorist. And, he worked around the early 20th century. He was born on a ranch in the Cherokee Indian Territory. And his parents were of mixed blood Cherokee. And, he wrote books. He did all kinds of stuff, man. And he had a warm, like neighborly kind of humor about him. And he could be very witty, and he was really coming up during the Depression. And that was a hard time for people. That was when people really turned to the entertainers to take their heads away from reality. And I think that's where all this kind of thing really began. You always hear, one of the beautiful things about the movie experience is that it takes you out of reality for a little while, puts your mind on something else that's crazy and fantastical. And if you're one of the beautiful people who can suspend the disbelief for a couple of hours, you can really forget all about reality for a minute. And that can be good for the soul, that can be quite therapeutic, right? And I think it all stemmed from the entertainment and the Hollywood industry, which is crumbling right now thanks to the left.
Nice plug.
Yeah, you got it, baby. And, so it all came from the Hollywood during the Depression. People really turned to it to help them feel good about themselves. And Will Rogers was one of the biggest stars, if not the biggest star. I mean, in its heyday, in the very beginning of the motion picture industry, they focused a lot on the Old West. It was still fresh and it was exciting. And with the pulp books that came out from that, they were famous all over the world. The American West was famous all over the world. I know that even for a fact that in Germany, the Native American Indian was a huge symbol of pride and a warrior symbol. You know what I'm saying? In Germany, they loved the Native American Indian warrior. So the American Old West was just that. It was the last frontier, and it was ours. And the world loved it. And it made stars like Will Rogers international stars. Anyways, on August 15th, 1935, he was on a plane going to Asia. And the craft developed some troubles in the engine, and then of course it went down. And once again, this was probably one of the first big movie stars to be killed via plane crash, and that's always a sad thing. And it's happened really all too often, especially back in the day, from the 50s to the 80s. It happened quite a bit. The plane crashed in Point Barrow, Alaska. Okay, so it was cold where they died. And the crash killed both he and the pilot, who was a famous pilot, and his name was Wiley Post. The famous pilot's name was Wiley. How about that? Will Rogers was only 55 years old when he died, and it was yesterday, November 4th, when he was born in 1879 on a ranch in Cherokee Indian Territory of Oklahoma. Thank you. That has been this Old West Recollection.
Well, I read over the last couple days that this research firm, YouGov, combined with the DC-based Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation, surveyed about I think it was like over 2,000 people regarding their views on socialism and the communist political system. The biggest thing that I remember was like half of millennials surveyed said they'd rather live under socialism or communism than in a capitalist democracy, like ours that we have here in the United States. And it said something like, quote, millennials now make up the largest generation in America, and we're seeing some deeply worrisome trends. That was Marion Smith, executive director of the foundation, and she said that in a statement to Fox News, actually. Millennials are increasingly turning away from capitalism and towards socialism and even communism as a viable alternative.
Oh, wow, there's some scary shit. Oh, that's scarier than Antifa's protest revolution wannabe yesterday.
It's very scary. It's very scary, Larry. Very scary, Larry Harryberry. Nearly 45% of millennials in the poll, of course, said they would live in a socialist country compared to the 42% who said they preferred to live in a capitalist country. You know, and it's sad. It just goes to show, you know, the depth at which our public education and our government is willing to go to in order to indoctrinate our young, beautiful citizens. And, you know, there was a time when fascism wasn't capitalism, but since perception is reality, you got a lot of these millennial idiot retards out there thinking fascism is capitalism, thinking socialism is a better way than capitalism. If you look at the numbers, over 100 million people have been killed in the last 100 years since the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia due to socialism and communism. And it's because, you know,
I know it's hard, isn't it?
It is. It's just hard. Like these kids, they don't even know. They don't even understand. You know what whole generations of entire families have gone through. You know, Mao killed anywhere between 60 to 90 million people on his own. Sometimes, I mean, depending on what you're going to look at. Stalin, I think it has like 30, 40 million. Starving Ukrainians and Russians alike. I mean, it's just all in the name of communism, all in the name of big government. And that's the funny thing, isn't it? Is these kids marching yesterday, they're thinking we're marching against big government. And they're preaching on behalf of a bigger government. You know, why would you want communism if you don't want a big government? That's all communism is. It's all communism is.
Okay, well, you bitches are getting really heavy. Really heavy. Okay, I'm going to take it back to something old school. Larry, this used to be your bit. I'm making it mine now.
Oh, I'm interested to see this. You didn't tell me you was doing anything like this.
Well, I'm doing it right now, ladies and gentlemen. You know what time it is. It's time for Craigslist. Shit, sorry. I fucked that up. It's time. Stop looking at me like that. Savage, get your toes away from me.
You mess with us some more.
Okay, guys, please, get back to it, Angie. What were you doing?
Craigslist Classifieds. Okay, Craigslist Classifieds. This is a missed connection. Chris, please tell me what happened. It's been almost a month since you've texted. I can't contact you because I'm a purger. I don't have your number anymore. I have discretion to the max. You said that you loved me. Maybe you were found out. Maybe you just got cold feet. Maybe you realized your logistics would never work. Whatever the reason, I wish you would have told me. I truly don't understand what happened. You said you searched for me for years, and the proclamations of love, and then silence? Obviously, I'm a fool, and now I'm broken.
There we go. You busted out the Craigslist classifieds.
Yes, I did.
I'm very proud of you.
That is very good. Once you get going.
Thank you, OP. You don't give many compliments, so thank you very much.
Well, everybody, I think it's about time.
Yeah, it's about time. I want to get Stranger Things 2 started. We have to finish it.
That's right. That's absolutely right, Savage. We are on episode... What were we on? How many have we watched so far?
Well, we're on episode 7, right?
No, guys. We have 2 episodes left. We're going to start at 8 and end at 9, right? And we're going to do that right now, right?
Yes, we are going to do that right now. Yes, Stranger Things 2 awaits. And we're going to have a review broadcast on Tree Brothers Studio at SoundCloud and iTunes and everywhere else. You're going to have Matt Hilliard and Joseph C. Kennedy doing a review on their show on our umbrella parent company, Tree Brothers Studio. They're going to be doing their show, Dangerously Orange. They're going to have a review of Stranger Things 2 coming up. So look forward to that in the next coming days. How about that plug?
Very good. Excellent indeed.
Okay, I want to get the show started. I'm going to go make some popcorn. God, you're so big and... Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
God, he's like a fucking earthquake.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, well, contact us through Facebook, you beautiful babies out there in podcast land. You can find us at Tree Brothers Studio or hit up thrillofcontingency.com. That's our website, thrillofcontingency.com. There you can find music that we've been a part of. You can find all kinds of stuff, artwork. You can contact us through there, all kinds of good stuff.
Okay, let's go watch it. I'm excited. I'm out of here too.
Okay. Well, Orange Sport, you want to say goodbye to the beautiful babies out there in podcast land with me?
No. I'm getting ready for Stranger Things 2. Let's go do this.
Well, there we go. I am all alone. On behalf of we, a band of outliers, many thanks for taking the time to listen to this episode of the Wayward Consortium. It's a woman's starting pro. She got